Show podcast. Daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Kenny brings up a great thing that's going on right now. Well, not a great thing. It's a big story. No cell phone service. Have you seen that one? AT&T, Verizon, and I forget who else. They're all down, like in several major parts of the country. Chicago, LA, New York, I guess Tennessee. It's a big deal. All of it's like out cold. It's remarkable. Major outages across the United States. We should probably get to that because I know they talked about it on the Today Show. As God, look at Savannah. She's just lovely. She looks like she should be. I think she's going denim there. Is that like a denim deal? Or are those like mom pants on backwards? She's one of my favorites. Anyway, here you go. AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers hit by widespread cellular outages here in the U.S.
The top, and a lot of Americans are feeling it right now. If you've had some trouble using your cell phone this morning, it's not just you. You're not alone.
Yeah, major carriers have been experiencing widespread outages all across the country, though AT&T is the most affected overnight. Users are on social media, and they're saying their cell service was down.
What are we going to do?
They were unable to make or...
I cannot... Oh, my God. Jesus. I'll save my comments for the end.
Receive calls. Many are saying, though, texts appear to be working just fine. We're going to try to sort all this out with NBC's Brian Chung. Hey, Brian, good morning.
Good morning. Some pretty alarming issues here nationwide when it comes to the cell phone outages. So it's happening at three major carriers. It's happening at Verizon, AT&T, and also T-Mobile. AT&T appears to be the most affected with about 30,000 outages that went down and then spiked back up alarmingly. We've also seen issues around 1,000 in number at Verizon and T-Mobile. And what seems like a good sign, AT&T outages, they did dip. But again, we're going to see whether or not after they've spiked again, can they really resolve those issues? Now, some of the most affected areas so far, they include San Francisco, Los Angeles, Houston, Atlanta. So it's happening in many pockets across the country. And there have been alarming reports.
They need to put Kenny's house on there.
From the San Francisco Fire Department that they can't get 911 calls. So this is really impacting some emergency services.
In San Francisco, they can't get the call that there's 8,000 homeless people on someone's front lawn. My God.
We don't know what the reason is for the outage. The San Francisco Fire Department is saying in some cases you should try to use a landline, and we reach out to all of the companies for comment.
Yeah, if I had to make a 911 call with a landline, I would have to, I think I'd be okay, kind of. I'd have to go find an actual telephone, like the base with the cordless ones. So if the NFK falls down the stairs, I have to go find the base, plug it in, take the cordless, charge it, put it on the cradle, and say, hey, in about half hour, I will call the paramedics.
Have not heard back since.
I mean, what's interesting is that it's more than one carrier. So, I mean, there's a range of possibilities, I suppose, and we just don't know yet.
Let's speculate. Range of carriers out. Russia blew up one of our satellites. Or maybe something even more sinister. Well, that's probably the most sinister.
What happened here?
Right. Like, is it something that could be hacking related? Is it something that could be weather related, satellite related? We don't know at the moment. We're trying to get more information, but we have not heard back yet.
But it's affecting big cities right now. That's where you're getting the most reports from.
Yeah.
Major cities.
Yes, Hoda, I said that. I had a map.
Totally. I mean, even this morning, we've heard of some of our own colleagues having issues reaching some of us by cell phone. But again, this is happening. It's still happening. We're trying to see how.
Interesting also that it's nationwide. There's not one region affected.
Right.
Yeah.
And nothing from the carriers. You said they haven't made any comment as to what's going on.
They have not, no. But again, we've been hearing of issues in South Carolina, in New York City as well. So again, it seemed like AT&T was able to make the number go down, but then it spiked back up again. So again, it's just we're not out of the woods yet.
All right, stay on it, Brian.
Wow, what the hell are we gonna do? That would wreck me. We should start a movement though. We should start a movement, though, where for like one day, you put down the phone. That, I think, would be so difficult for me. I am so tied to that thing. Holy cow. I mean, first of all, it's a lifesaver. It keeps me patient. When I'm in line at the pharmacy or whatever, picking up my pile of medication. The other day I went there, and they take an odd time for lunch. And I didn't know that. Like 1:30 to 2 p.m., they shut the doors. It's like it's closed. And I got there at 1:45. This is over at Walmart. I go, well, I'm going to go see some of the freaks. I'll walk around for a little bit. And I did. You know, and then I get in line finally, and I'm just it's cool. People are like, oh, we'll be right with you. It's like, take your time. Take your time. No big deal. But to actually put that thing down, I don't, that would be a challenge. First of all, everybody, I contact people with the thing. Aram says, this looks like Eric Zaitunian talking. What are you talking about? Are you suggesting that I'm being too nice? I just said I walked through the Walmart and see the freaks. Is that something that Eric Zaitunian would say, Aram? I don't know what you're getting at. Perhaps you need to explain yourself. I tried to get a hold of you the other day, and you completely shut me down. It's been way too long since we heard your dulcet tones, Aram. Oh, you forwarded me. What? Oh, my God. How could you possibly do that? It's like 7 o'clock in the morning there. He's talking about speaking with my hands? Yeah, I don't know. Now, EZ is always like, hello, hi, Eric Zaitunian. Hello there. Oh, my God. Yes. That's not true at all. Today is a Big Fraud Thursday. And let me tell you, God, I need to go over my notes, first of all, for the Who Are These Free Beers show that will take place today. So many clips. But I don't know if I have a giant segment to park on. What can I promote? All right. I have a terrific segment that they did where it absolutely, Greg tips the hand as to that it's a fake segment. A lot of times he'll say, all right, we got a text in, and it's from this person who says this. And then it's from an online source like Reddit, or they wrote it themselves. I'm 100% convinced of this. And the reason why I say it here, the example that I have is he wanted to do a phone topic or a text-in topic called things that are true, things that about you that are true that no one believes, or something like that. And at one point, he says, all right, in the next segment, we're going to do things about you that are that no one believes that are true. We got a lot of them have been pouring in already. Well, the reason that tipped off that this was not true, and the reason why is because he hadn't mentioned it once prior. I listened to every second of that show up to that point, pulling clips, and at no point did he say, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to need you to contribute with this. Things about you that are true that no one believes. The first time he said it, he followed it up with, oh my God, we've gotten so many that have poured in. Well, that's impossible because you hadn't said it yet. It's a complete bullshit story. Then they come back from commercial and he does the bit, and they're all like super lengthy, way involved, like something that no one would sit there and write a 15-paragraph text to someone about their thing that no one believes that is actually true. And it's, oh, yeah, hey, we got this one. It's such bullshit. Ben, he's here in the chat. He writes, be ready for their amazing game called But Wait, There's More. Amanda, Johnny S. Amanda on the spot with breaking news. Thank you. She writes, oh, shit, breaking news. My mom said they shut down her system for hospital billing because there is a cyber attack in Oklahoma. So we might be getting it as it happens. You know, you're deep embedded in the news cycle when Amanda's mom is breaking news. If you turn to Amanda and her mom gives us breaking news, we have turned the corner.
Breaking news! And Lost calls the snow day!
Amanda says she works for Metro Health, dumbass. Well, I don't know why you got to call me a dumbass. I'm actually expressing my appreciation for the breaking news. You're probably right. She's probably right. You know? I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you. I'm not even giving you shit on that. That's probably what happened. You'll know. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm giving you shit, but I'm not really, because that's probably what there probably is some type of cyber attack. You know? Amanda says I sense some sarcasm. I know, but I'm telling you it's not. I swear on a stack of King James Bibles that today I am not being sarcastic about that. I actually do believe you. Okay? If I was making fun of you, I would use your parody voice. I would do that deal, but I'm not doing that. Today's a big day for EZ. I am having a big Zoom conference with all of these bigwigs from the radio station and engineering staffs to get EZ up and running for the big radio show that is coming. We are one day closer to EZ being back on the radio. My alarm went off another 10 minutes early. Today, 5:40. I hit snooze once. That means actually out of bed, 5:50. All this week, since Monday, I've been getting up 10 minutes early in preparation of helping my body to adapt to the absolute worst thing you can do to it. Wake up early. Oh, my God. So that's the only thing I got to wrap my mind around. That is the only real challenge in all of this. That is waking up early. And I'm pretty confident it'll be sometime in the 4 o'clock hour, which actually for morning drive, that's sleeping in. Okay? Most psychos get up at like 3. Maureen says, are you going to bed earlier too, Eric? You need your beauty sleep. Yes, I know that. You're right. I mean, in order to stay this handsome and be this fresh-faced and adorable, you don't want to be, throwing out the 5-hour sleep time. You want 8+. Now, for the past 5 years, the way I've been able to turn back the hands of time and make myself look like I'm 26 years old is by going to bed at about 8:15 and getting up at like 7:20. I'm so not kidding. It's been a 5-year vacation doing this show. It has been the most joyful, no stress time of my entire life. I've worn nothing but sweatpants and hoodies and T-shirts for 5 years and gotten 10, 11, 12 hours of sleep every night. What the hell? And on the weekend, it's like 15 hours of sleep. I love sleeping. I used to say to my brother Jim, I go, if being dead is anything like sleeping. I can't wait to die. I love to sleep. So awesome. So you're right. Now, if I go to bed at 8-ish, wake up at 4-ish, you're still looking at about 8 hours. But that's, really waking up early. I don't know. Ryan says, I'm going to miss participating in this live show. It's been a staple of my morning, but look forward to listening to the new show as well. Yeah. So, this big meeting goes on today about boring technical arrangements for this show. Amanda says, I'm going to miss it too. No more Amanda show. Now, the way this is going to work is the radio show ends, and then I start doing the podcast. I'll be completely prepped for it because I'll have time to do it between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. And a lot of it will be a continuation of what I talked about on the radio show. But it'll start at 10. All right. Kenny writes, what are we going to do? Amanda says she has to work then. Yeah, I don't know if there's a workaround maybe for you to get the show while you're working. Now, this is just for the live audience. And truth be told, just a very, very small fraction of people actually get the show live. I see every day the usual customers. Some are silent. Some are not. But honestly, there are only like 40, sometimes 50 of you. Most people consume the podcast via the pre-recorded, uploaded audio podcast. So there's that. Amanda writes, they hate you. They hate me. I need some specifics about this. I think we need to call the world-famous Amanda, who I guess is wrestling with the idea of, she's so bursting with energy that she wants to start a podcast right now. She even posts on Facebook, attention, folks, what should I do? Should I do a podcast?
Hello.
Is this Amanda? First of all, what's going on in your thoughts about a podcast?
Well, it's not going to be every day. I thought about every week, but I don't even know if I can do that much. So it might just be 2 times a month or something. But my thought was, because I watch so much shit, I could just talk about that. Like, what am I watching this week? What documentary did I see? What podcast am I listening to?
I like
What's funny about that?
I like it.
You know?
I like it.
Yeah.
So start.
And then intertwine things about my past because, all my stories are fucking hilarious. So
Gotcha. I love the confidence. So you can always start, even if you did it once a month, you can always increase. And then, I guess you can always decrease too if it's just not right for you,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
my cousin said, this is like just stupid, but my cousin said that he tried it and he didn't find an audience. And I said to him, I go, what did you talk about? He goes, entrepreneurship. I said, well, there's your fucking problem.
yeah, he had to talk about boring shit. It's a podcast.
Yeah, you can talk about boring shit.
Entrepreneurship. What? And you said this is your cousin?
Yeah.
Oh, what a boring asshole he is.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. Anyway.
So you said that the at your work, they hate EZ. What happened? Was I on and they just got disgusted?
No, I just talk about you and the stupid shit that you say about me all the time, and they think it's mean when I know it's a joke.
Oh, because they don't hear the context.
Correct.
Oh, so they're like, he shouldn't be mean to you.
Right.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Well, why? Do you walk around and say, hey, guess what? He said this about me. How does it even come up? I don't understand.
Well, I'll talk about my morning when I come in the morning and just tell them if there's funny shit that I thought was funny happened. And...
Oh, no, that means they hate you. They don't hate me.
You say so.
All right. Enjoy your day today.
Well, I was going to answer Corey because he was like, well, you can wear earbuds. I can't. I'm like in the receptionist chair up front in the office, the office manager. So I can't have earbuds in. I got to.
No, you can't have that. Yep. No. Probably best. You'll have to listen to the audio podcast or watch the Twitch stream later on demand.
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
There you go. Amanda. Okay. Maureen says she's probably crying when she talks about it. Ha, ha, ha. I don't know if you heard the story about Trump sneakers. They cost $399. I think there's a clip of him showing them at like SneakerCon, which I didn't know was a thing till Christian Blatt told me. There's an event somewhere called SneakerCon.
Every leap forward starts with asking, can we? Can we use genetics to fight cancer?
Gold
Robots
high
to save
tops.
a heart from miles away.
And
Biology.
there's like an American flag
Donald Trump apparently
on the top portion of the shoe. They look ridiculous. They just look so stupid.
is coming up with some creative ways to do so. One day after finding out he was on the hook for more than $350 million, the former president unveiled a new Trump-themed product to a less than receptive crowd.
That's the real deal. That's the real deal. I just want to thank you very much for being here. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Okay, they're jeering him.
You're all
He's getting some cheers, but he's getting a lot of jeers too.
sneakerheads. You're sneakerheads, right? Wow. A lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion in this room.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
First of all, let's note, that's the first time Trump has faced a hostile audience in a long time. And it was clear he didn't quite know what to do with those
I'm a little
boos.
disappointed you're not wearing.
I thought he did okay. I mean, he didn't. He just kind of kept a straight face.
them, John.
Well,
I was sort of hoping you'd crack
There's a
them out
reason
for
why the
President's Day.
camera is only from the waist up here. No footwear reveals.
All right. I like these sneakers. And look, he sold all of them. He sold 1,000 pair for $399. So that means what? $390,000. $399,000. Is that what that means? Yeah. He made $399,000. No. Wait a minute. So you go 1,000 times $399, right? Yeah. I can't do math. $399,000. Okay. I would love those sneakers. I would wear Trump sneakers if I had a pair of. I wouldn't pay $399 for a pair of sneakers. But I think he's really limiting himself by 1,000 pair of Trump sneakers. In fact, it has been way too long since we talked to Trump. Which, by the way, I have to reach out to Trump to ask him if he wants to be on the Eric Zane show, radio show, which does have a name, but I'm not revealing it yet. Actually, the name of the show was suggested to me, and I don't care what the show is named. I don't care. And someone said something, and I went, "Yeah, it sounds great." Don't care. Been way too long since we got the former president on here, and we want to discuss the sneakers. Hello?
Good morning. This is America's favorite president, Donald Trump.
This isn't your machine, is it? Is this a person?
Of course it's a person. Who is this?
This is EZ. This is Eric Zane. How are you, sir?
Big Fraud Zane. I'm doing pretty well. I don't know if you heard about this, but we've got 3 hours and 30 minutes on the Trump sneaker. You can get wonderful, wonderful deals at GetTrumpSneakers.com. It's probably, well, they say it's maybe the best sneaker ever made.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it right now. Now on the website, it says it's sold out. Did you know that?
Well, get this. The Never Surrender high top sneaker is totally sold out. We sold them out so fast, so rapidly. I did this sneaker con with all the wonderful sneakerheads. They were out there. They bought them up. You wouldn't believe how they bought them up. But we've got other sneakers. We've got the Red Wave, $199. It's a great deal. We've got the President of the United States 45 sneaker, which is probably, actually, I might golf with it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good looking
We've
shoe.
also got the, what's that, Big Frog?
I was going to say, it's a good looking shoe there, Mr. President.
I think it's a great golf sneaker if you think about it. And, of course, we've got the wonderful other trinkets and things. This is not all that different from what you do. My people said that you've got a bit of a tchotchke store yourself.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we could combine forces on this and sell great things. I don't know.
I like how on Trump Victory 47 cologne, your head is the top of the bottle.
Well, I think people could use that maybe for nefarious purposes. I think, maybe women would like that for,
wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I guess, you know what? That's probably already happened. Probably.
I would certainly hope so. I mean, you could shove just about anything up a pussy if you think about it.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Okay, and then you've got the perfume for the ladies and the keychain.
You should get one for the queen of the underworld. I think she would probably like some of this perfume. I think it could maybe make her smell a little bit better.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Careful there, sir. She might not like that. She might think that you're insulting her, It says.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I with a name like that, I mean, you got to get a perfume. I must be so honest about that.
Okay. Fair enough. But this is all to, I guess, for the legal fund. You owe like hundreds, like almost just under $400 million.
$400 million. $400 million, Big Fraud. This is the biggest witch hunt in the history of our great nation. I think this is maybe the worst thing that's ever happened. In fact, it's only enraged me more to maybe consider, once, of course, I'm going to win the presidency, maybe suspending the Constitution. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, what kind of laws? I mean, America is totally disgraced. I mean, such a fraudulent trial. Crooked AG, terrible judge. You wouldn't have believed this judge. Terrible judge. I mean, I built the goddamn New York skyline, Big Fraud. I built the New York skyline.
Right.
Probably the best skyline in the world. And they're telling me that I somehow did not quote the right prices for my buildings and such. This is terrible.
Sir, I read a stat that I guess every day that you don't pay the just under $400 million, another $87,000 in interest is added to that. Are you ever going to pay this money, or is this just like maybe wait till you get elected, when and if you get elected, and then somehow, I don't know, pull a fast one on the people who are supposed to? I don't even know who won that money. I don't even know what's going on with that.
Well, that's the problem, Big Fraud. I don't either. And that's why this whole thing is so crooked. It's so crooked. It's just a witch hunt by the lousy Democrats and the Tricky Nikki, I'm calling her now. I think she's very tricky. And the truth is, you look at this witch hunt, it's terrible. It's terrible what they've done. I mean, we all know Mar-a-Lago is worth so much money. Listen, I'll cough up this money. That's no problem. I've always said you have to pay your bills. Like NATO, if they don't pay their bills, they're not going to be protected by the United States.
Yeah,
I've stood behind this before. You've got to pay your bills.
I saw that. You said that something about who cares if they don't pay, then they just get attacked or something like that. You're like encouraging Putin to attack them.
Well, I mean, Vladimir's a good guy. I think he's a good guy, actually. I think he understands how to run a country. And I think Tucker Carlson just did a great story, great journalism, probably the best journalism, actually. He went into Russia and he bought groceries and such.
Oh,
and it's so much cheaper and more affordable there. You wouldn't believe Vladimir Putin's country and how great it is.
We have an audience member in the chat, Tyler, who writes, Mr. President, you need to double down and come out with a, quote, Trump dildo, your head as the tip of it, and an eagle as the little vibrator piece that sticks out. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, that's a tremendous idea. Obviously, Tyler is one of our great patriots. I think that could sell really well. I think that could really help with the $400 million that I owe. But the truth is, that was already an idea. I mean, he didn't come up with it. I mean, we've got I've got the best people coming up with ideas like that, of course.
Yes.
I mean, I don't need some puny Zane Show person to come up with an idea. It's a great idea. I think we're looking at it, but it's kind of a whole sex industry. You have to have a certain different set of protocols to sell those things.
Another suggestion, it should actually be a mold of your actual crank, sir.
Well, I don't know about that. I think Melania might get a little upset if other people are enjoying the Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the thing is, Russia. You know, everyone's afraid of them right now, but I wouldn't be so afraid.
No,
I wouldn't be so afraid.
Okay.
No.
Well, how come? I don't understand.
Well, I think they're taking care of things. You know, Ukraine, they're cleaning that up. I think they're cleaning up that whole thing over there. They're gonna do so well.
Sir,
you're gonna see.
It sounds to me like you're siding with Russia. You're saying they're going to clean up Ukraine. It sounds to me like you could become kind of like a dictator, which is what we've talked about before.
Well, I don't know. You know, after this whole New York fake news witch hunt, you know, I don't even know if the Constitution is being used anymore in this country. I think we have to suspend it. We have to look at it. I think we're going to look at it. I'm probably going to look at it better than anyone has. You have to remember that I'm the most favorite and one of the most voted for presidents in American history. 75 million people voted for me in our last election. So I think they trust me. They trust me to clean the swamp. They trust me to clean up the country.
Sir,
of course, we're going to lock up the borders. We're going to lock them so good. We're going to kill so many people. You're going to see it's going to be great.
Oh, my God. Sir, finally, I'm getting set.
Dirty Mexicans,
No,
big fraud. Dirty Mexicans.
You
gotta clean up the trash.
My God, you cannot say that. What a horrible thing to say, sir.
I totally can say it, big fraud. It's a free country for now.
I didn't say you couldn't say it. I said it's a horrible thing to say. You're a horrible human being. How can you possibly say that about our beloved Mexican neighbors?
Well, I should preface, there are certain Mexicans and Hispanics that are very good. I think you've got one on your show that does heating and cooling or something.
No,
but
they're all
there are
fine.
legal ones. They're great. But these ones coming across the border, they're crooked. They're drug dealers.
That's ridiculous.
They're terrible. They're raping people, big fraud.
They're not. They're not. Sir, let me ask you this. I've got a radio show that's going to start very soon. Would you be willing to join us on the radio, part of increasing your audience on your network? First, you've got the world famous Eric Zane Show podcast, but then a radio show too, sir. Would you be interested in chatting on the radio?
Oh, we would be very interested in that. In fact, are you going back to the free beer and what's it wing show?
It's free beer and hot wings, sir. No, actually, not at all. It's not that. I can't say
That's
much
a shame
more.
because they've got this little girl that's on there. This little tiny girl. I talked to her on the phone. Terrible girl. Terrible. I would really like to poke fun at her some more. But what is it that I would, of course, do anything that Big Fraud's doing. I'm a big fan. So you're going to be on terrestrial radio again, Big Fraud?
Yeah, I'm adding that. I'm still doing the podcast, but I'm adding a terrestrial radio show very, very soon, sir. It's been a long time.
Is this like Monday through Friday? Or are you just filling in for my big friend Huge?
No. This is a full-time gig. This is a brand new thing. It just unfolded before our eyes. Not even a week ago.
Well, this is incredible news, Big Fraud. I'm so happy for you. I know you've wanted this for a very long time. I think you're going to do great.
Yeah, absolutely. I love podcasting. It's kind of like the future, and it's saved our lives here and kept the roof over our heads, sir. But the old American elbow grease to get it done. But I like being on the radio.
Well, of course. I mean, there's a whole different culture to it. As I used to be on television, it's a very different thing. I understand, of course.
Now, I haven't said this on the podcast, but I'll say it for you right now. The audience that listens to that will be listening, they are all red staters. You will love that audience.
Oh, this is tremendous. I mean, our great patriots, they want to hear from me. They want to hear from me. This could be a great opportunity for you, Big Fraud.
Sir.
You could pull in big numbers. I don't know if they're still doing Nielsen's on the radio. I mean, it's a totally dead industry, but I think you could pull numbers if you bring me in.
I think you'd love it. You could sell some Trump sneakers to these folks.
That's right. You know, I'm a big ratings guy. In fact, I was talking to Laura Ingraham on Fox News, and she's got the biggest ratings ever on Fox News. It was incredible. Yeah. You bring in the Trump, you bring in the ratings machine. Well, it's so true.
No, that's absolutely true. That's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to debates. I mean, last time you did a debate, you ordered the Proud Boys to get ready to attack. Do you remember that one?
Well, I think I told them to stand by or something like that. I don't think I told anyone to attack. But that's totally false. That's totally fake news. I mean, it's open to interpretation. I mean, everything I do is perfect, Big Fraud. Everything is perfect. There's nothing wrong. Everything is totally perfect. Perfect phone calls, you name it. I mean, it's perfect. I am perfect. I have the most perfect business, by the way. And these New Yorkers, they went after my most perfect business. My children, they run this business, and now they're telling me I can't even run a business in New York. This is terrible.
Mr. President,
I'm so upset.
I know it. You sound it. Actually, you don't. You sound the same. Whether you're happy or sad, you're incredibly consistent, sir. I'll give you that.
Well, I mean, I'm totally pissed off. I mean, these crooked, crazy Joe Biden supporters. I mean, they're terrible. I mean, just the other day, this guy gets up on a podium. Okay, he gets up on a podium to talk about his mental fitness, and he almost nails it, but he goes back to the podium. and totally screws it up. I mean, he's talking. I mean, nobody knows who anybody is in this world, but he starts talking about presidents from other countries that aren't who he's talking about. It's terrible.
I know.
It's a terrible look for our country.
No, you're right. He should be retired. I on that I agree with you without a doubt. But sir,
there's no way in 2000, 81 million people voted for him. There's no way. That's why we won so big in 2000. There's no way anyone would vote for that.
Sir, I hate to do this, but as you know, I sometimes have to cut you off, and I know that makes you unhappy. So hopefully that doesn't.
Well, hold on a minute now. If you're going to do this, how are we going to do this on the radio? You're just going to cut me off like this? You're such a piece of shit, Big Fraud. I mean, first of all, you bring an olive branch. You say, come onto my little puny little podcast with like 10 people. And now you say, come onto my radio show. How are you going to get rid of me there? You know, you got to go through my publicist. I've always said it. You have to go through my.
Yeah, well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. He'll cool down. He'll be back. He always does. Yeah, Trump on the radio. That, by the way, that's another clue I just gave you. I gave you a clue in that about the gig. Some of you might even have a really solid idea about the radio show. But I've intentionally kind of been stretching this out because the bosses at the radio station have said, look, you can't really discuss it. So I haven't, but at the same time, I want you to all wrap your mind around this. So that's why I've been presenting it to you in the way I have. When I can tell you more, I will tell you more. But this is absolutely going to happen. Corey in Maine writes, Jamie Foxx does a perfect Trump impression. So Jamie Foxx must sound like the president who we just had on. Mike says red states as in plural, syndication. No. I don't want you to think so gigantic in scope, okay? When you get down to brass tacks, I mean, this is a giant deal to me. But in all honesty, and there will be people in the radio industry like my old mates at Free Beer and Hot Wings will look at what I'm doing and probably mock me, okay, over this, which is totally fine. But I cannot wait for this. The Danity says, replacing Jackie. No, I can't stress this enough. This has nothing to do with Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the surrounding West Michigan area. Nothing at all. So that has come up more than once. Nope. All right. Well, I got to take a break really quick. No, actually, I'm not going to do that. First of all, I want to acknowledge our friends who are watching the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm about to kick you out, though. In order for you to get the rest of the show, you have to download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live. Or on your laptop or desktop, go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Mike says, I can only imagine the Reddit thread on the Free Beer and Hot Wings sub when they find out you're back on. Oh, yeah. Those people do not like me. Every time it used to be that when I would get shit on there, I would give it back. And they didn't like that. So they ended up banning me so that I cannot give them any shit when people give me shit. So now I'm just a punchline and a punching bag on that thing. Kenny adds, I just had to listen to Free Beer and Hot Wings in the car. They really need to fix this outage problem. By the way, in my story that I tell when I talk about how this radio station how this morning show gig came to light, there is a small portion of the story that Free Beer and Hot Wings are featured in it. Okay? When I tell this tale. And I just can't wait to tell you this story because it was kind of like a really odd set of circumstances that it came to my attention. I just can't wait to talk about it. I just can't wait. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. But there was a question earlier about it, about the radio show. If the podcast is going to be a continuation of the radio show, then does that mean he turns into Eric Zane-Tunian going forward? No. By the way, I did a podcast the other day, and, I'm the usual, talking shit, swearing, acting like an asshole. And I had a conversation with the radio station, and I think they wanted me to say, like, that the podcast, what I do on the podcast is, they wanted to be assured that that's not going to happen on the radio. And I'm like, well, of course it's not going to happen. This is the Wild West. I can be as much of an asshole as I want and not have to worry about it. Like, for example, there are subjects that I'm probably not going to go near on the radio. Like, how when I talk shit about Republicans, I am not going to do that on the radio. In fact, on the podcast, I'm going to start labeling content that is of a nature that I wouldn't mention on the radio. Like, if I were to say something horrible about Republicans, I would set it up with, and now for something I want to talk about. Wait, how did I write it? A story that you won't hear, an opinion that you won't hear on the radio. And then I'll just say it. And that's all things that you've already heard on this show. So anything on this show that I won't say on the radio or I won't talk about. Now for something that you will not, an opinion of mine that you won't hear on the radio. Like, I'm going to be talking later on in the show about the embryo saga in Alabama. It's an unbelievable story. It just happened. Alabama hospital puts pause on IVF in wake of a ruling that says frozen embryos are children. This is a big one. So you've got, like, literally last night, this all came to fruition. There were people scheduled for in vitro fertilization procedures this morning. The first step, one of the big steps, taking the embryo and putting it in mom's womb. usually more than one. Sometimes this results in multiple births, but, that's been the way a lot of people have been able to make their families is through in vitro fertilization. Well, Alabama's largest hospital, because of a new Alabama Supreme Court ruling that said that frozen embryos are children under state law. So, because in the in vitro process, a lot of times they will destroy embryos. Like, let's say a family has 10 embryos made, and they do the implantation, and it works, and they have their kids, and then mom and dad go, just destroy the embryos. You could do that, but now, as of today, you cannot. So this means that the hospital is like, well, we're not doing any of these in vitros now because we can get sued, and they would. So people now are in the lurch. This is a huge deal. I will talk about that here. There's no fucking way I'm going to talk about that shit on the radio. No way. No, I'm going to do, especially early on, when it comes to radio, when you're a new host in a new town, the last thing you want to do is just kick in the door and start talking about abortion rights or religion or politics. No, fuck that. You want to talk about how much you like Neil Young's Rockin' in the Free World. And then you slowly get them to trust you and like you. Those are the objectives. I've done this so many times in so many towns. I know this like the back of my hand. So now I'm not going to bust in and say, that's a fucking abortion. I'm not going to, first of all, I won't swear. So that's what I mean when I say you're going to get a little bit more Eric Zaitunian on the radio. All right? I'm an announcer at that point. And a host. Less asshole, more host. Eventually, we'll kind of dip our toe in assholishness, to be sure. But you can't just go in there and cause a damn catastrophe with finicky people listening to the radio. That's just my 2 cents. At least that's how I do it. I was talking with the boss of the radio station, and person says to me, so, yeah, we want you to promote your podcast. And I go, I don't want to do that right away. Why? I go, well, because they've got enough. The audience has enough on their plate. You can't just show up. It's already a lot to process a new person that they have to get used to. And the last thing you want to do is be explaining to them about another show that they can listen to where it's me doing what I do here. I go, you can't inundate them with information. Eventually we'll, start to talk about it. But I go, when starting a radio show, what I've learned over the years is this. There are no on-off switches. Everything is a dimmer switch. And you slowly turn it on or off or whatever. Now, I told him that, and he's like, yeah, that makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. We're on the same page. So, I don't want to just kick in the door. There's going to be complete separation between the two. And then slowly we will merge to one big entity. We've got nothing but time here. All right? Kenny says, imagine a barrage of listener impressions and how hit or miss that would be, too. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, this is all. You can't. Nick says, lame. Hit him with shock and awe first day. No. Trust me, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Do I tell you how to do electrical shit, dick? No. My God. I'm already getting comments from very angry ladies. Rebecca says, It's all to try to control women. And she has mad face emojis after it. Now, let me, my knowledge base on this topic is the one thing you don't ever want to do if you're in the position that I'm in is when you get a comment like Rebecca's where she says it's all to try to control women. It's my job to go, I know. That's fucked. I've said this many times before. I am not in the business of telling women what to do with their bodies. Okay? No way, no how. If a woman wants to do something that, well, I mean, if she wants to have an abortion or if she wants to have a baby through IVF or she wants to make a bunch of embryos and then throw them in the garbage, I'm in my lane. All right? I'm at 10-2 looking forward. And next to me, there's embryos flying by, you know, and then in the other lane, and then in the HOV lane, there's all sorts of babies getting aborted. My eyes are forward. And then mom is there too. She's like, I want an abortion. I'm driving. I'm not concerned with that. I am not going to tell anybody how to make their babies or not make their babies. I even went so far as to say, if anybody wants to murder their baby, I am not getting in the way of that. And if somebody says to me, EZ, what do you mean murder a baby? Look, if you're going to go ahead and have your opinion and your rights on this, good. But I think that's the worst thing ever, okay? That sounds like the most horrible thing that has ever existed. That's not for me. But that's just my opinion. And my opinion doesn't matter. I support your right to murder your babies in a topic that I like to call a story that EZ won't talk about on the radio. That's why the podcast has its audience, because I'm not afraid to say that I support women to murder babies. Kenny says IVF helps so many people have children without a doubt. Rebecca says some women need abortions to save their lives. No, all kidding aside in my jokes, because I mean, at the end of the day, I shouldn't have to tell you that these are jokes. That's absolutely true. Brandis writes, here we go again. Corey says, no brain waves, then it's not a person, it's not alive. I don't know. Sounds like you know more about this than I do. Nick asks, will the radio show get posted in podcast form? I don't know. Maybe. Donko says, I'm growing a new garden of listeners. Corey says, asterisk, until you get fired. Aram says, I hope Eric ramps records on this new show. I don't know if that's their thing. Some radio stations are very finicky about that. I may have read this one. Mike writes, that's fucked up. I wouldn't be here without IVF. Kenny has an update on the phone outage thing. New York Times, 3 minutes ago. AT&T said in a statement Thursday that some of its customers were experiencing wireless service interruptions. We are working urgently to restore service to them. The statement said, without giving an estimate of when service would be back, we encourage the use of Wi-Fi calling until service is restored. Now, this is a bad deal. Amanda says, I don't know about that, Eric. Trump's got a pretty bad potty mouth when it comes to getting Trump on the radio. Yeah, I know. That's something we got to work on. Okay, look, I have not yet even kicked the audience out from Facebook, X, and YouTube. Thank you so much, though. I do need to remind you, though, that if you want the audio version of this podcast, it's available wherever you download shows. Please subscribe, rate, and review if you can. Send me an email on the Shoreliner Striping inbox. Thank you to Shoreliner Striping. It is eric@ericzaneshow.com. And then the Patreon, where tonight we've got another Big Fraud Thursday. You can check it out for free with a 7-day free trial. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. 7 days free for you. You do have to put in a payment form, but you can cancel it like immediately after. I don't care. I just want you to try it. You still get the 7 days. Are you hearing what I'm saying? If everybody did this, there's a lot of you who will love it. So I want you to try it out so you can check that show out tonight, the live stream, or the audio after. If you're listening to this podcast, either live or the audio podcast later, do this. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. You can't miss it. I have it posted everywhere. Get your 7 days free, and 1 second later, cancel it. You still get the 7 days. If you like it, you then can sign up. Now, if you don't cancel it, 1 second after 7 days, I'm charging you. When you do the 7 days, do it at $10 a month so you can watch the videos and be part of the live streams. Everyone in the sound of my voice needs to try that. I haven't had that freedom of the 7 days free, that opportunity for you during the entirety of Patreon. That's only about a year old. So try it out. All right, I'm saying goodbye to the